Every once in a while a product comes around that really catches our eye. It's something different. Something we have not quite seen before, but yet seems so unnecessary. My name is Jonathan from OT for Tech, and the product I'm referring to is the Samsung Galaxy Note Edge. If you remember back when Samsung announced the Note 4, they also announced a similar biological cousin, the Note Edge. It has the same specs more or less, depending of course on the model that you get. I was able to get the international unlocked model or the Korean model, which features the Exynos Octa-Core chipset, but this particular device is set for a US release in the near future and will run the Snapdragon 805, the Adreno 420 with 3GB of RAM, 32 or 64GB of onboard storage, and of course that same Quad HD Super AMOLED display. The difference? Well, to start, the Note Edge has a similar, smaller 5.6-inch display with a higher PPI of 525 versus the Note 4's 5.7-inch display with a 516 PPI. Also, you have the Edge screen, which has its own 2560 by 160 screen ratio. Opening up the box, you can see the very first thing you're greeted with is the Samsung Galaxy Note Edge, and you can see here I do have the black version. Next up, you get some paperwork, some basic warranty and safety information. You get your data syncing and your charging cable. You get your rapid charging wall port, which is the same one that's included in the Note 4, and you get some S Pen replacement tips with the S Pen tip removal tool. You get some different size earbuds, and of course your standard Samsung Galaxy Note and Galaxy device headphones, and you get your battery. And this is where things get a little bit different. The Note Edge features a 3000 mAh battery, meanwhile the Note 4 features the 3220 mAh battery. Despite having almost the same exact screen size, you know battery life is going to take its toll on the Note Edge. So now that we got the plastic peeled off the front and the plastic peeled off the back, let's go ahead and pop off the back cover and see what we got underneath. And you can see you have a micro SD card slot, which is expandable up to 128GB of storage, and then you have your micro SIM card slot, in the same exact location as the Note 4, so nothing has changed underneath the hood here. So I went ahead and put in my SIM card, and I went ahead and put in my SD card, and now I'm putting in the battery, and we're going to go ahead and lock this thing up and boot it up for the first time on camera, so that way you guys can experience the first ever boot up of the Samsung Galaxy Note Edge. Now I pretty much already went through these specs. This is the Exynos Octa-Core chipset, and when it comes to the US, you will be getting the Snapdragon 805 with the Adreno 420. So you can expect the same exact processor and GPU found in the Note 4. So now that it's pretty much done booting up, I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. So if you want to watch the setup process, it's in the bottom right hand corner, and I'm going to go ahead and compare the Note 4 versus the Note Edge. So in this shot, you can see what I was talking about, how the Note Edge is definitely more flush than the Note 4, and you can also see how they both feature the same faux leather backplate. Now here you can see the Note 4 is a little bit taller than the Note Edge, and here you can see the Note Edge is a little bit thinner than the Note 4. But when you hold them in the hand, the Note Edge feels thicker and it feels heavier, but that's not the case. The Note Edge comes in at 174 grams versus the Note 4's 176 grams. Here you can see the Note Edge is a little bit wider than the Note 4, and this is to accommodate for the screen edge or the edge screen, the curved glass on the right hand side. And you can also see in this shot the curvature of the Note Edge versus the curvature on the Note 4. It's definitely different, and I'm not talking about the glass, I'm talking about the actual body of the phone. So on the right hand side of the Samsung Galaxy Note Edge, you're going to find the curved display or the edge screen. And moving up to the top, you can see that is now where the power button is located, since they could not put the power button on the right hand side where it's usually found because of the curved display. You also have your IR blaster up here, you have your headphone jack, and you also have a microphone. On the left hand side, you're going to find your volume rocker or your volume up and down buttons, whatever you want to call it, and they're in the same location as the Note 4, so nothing has changed over here. And I'm not going to show you the bottom of the phone again, since I've already showed you that when I showed you the width comparison, and you can see nothing has changed. Now the Note 4 was famous for the metal trim design as well as the chamfered edges, and it made it really feel like a premium device, and the Note Edge continues this, and I'm happy to say that. Moving on to the back of the phone, you can see the very first thing you see on mine is the carrier logo, and don't worry, when you guys buy one here in the US, you will have that as well depending on your carrier. At the top you have the 16 megapixel camera with OIS and of course autofocus. Below that you have the single LED flash with the heart rate monitor. Now there are reports saying that the Note 4 has dual LED flash versus the Note Edge's single LED flash, and those are false. On the bottom you have the Samsung logo with of course the rear firing speaker. Oh, and before we move on, the camera is capable of capturing 4K UHD. So on the front, on the bottom, of course you have the physical capacitive buttons. You have the home button, which has a built-in fingerprint reader. Moving up the gorgeous 5.6-inch display, you have the 3.7 megapixel front-facing camera, which is great for selfies because it's wide angle. You have the LED notification light and your dedicated sensors. Everybody loves updates, and as soon as I booted up my Note Edge for the first time, I had an update available. I figured, hell, I'll go ahead and update it. Hopefully it will improve the performance and the battery life, and we'll get into that in the full review because I don't have too many nice things to say so far are on the performance or battery life. But then again, keep in mind that this is not a carrier optimized version. This is an international version, and it also features the Octa-Core Exynos chipset, not the Snapdragon. After adjusting the APN settings, I was able to get HSPA Plus and 3G speeds. However, I was not able to get LTE speeds on the international and Korean model Note Edge. However, if you're Danny Winget, somehow you do manage to get LTE speeds. I'm not sure, he's just lucky. So of course the biggest difference between the Note Edge and the Note 4 is the curved display, or the edge screen, which is what Samsung is calling it, which allows you to add widgets to it and you can access applications on the fly. And you also get your notifications on the edge screen, as you just saw. So the curved display, or the edge screen, is fully customizable. You can actually access the different bars that you would like to show. You can create new bars, and Samsung has also released the software to this to developers, so there should be tons of third-party app support later on in the future. Now when you go under Express Me, you can actually customize the edge screen, what it looks like on the lock screen, and you can pick one of your pictures out of your gallery. However, it doesn't really show much of the picture, so it's really a waste. But really it depends on the picture that you pick. If you're looking at the ocean or the sky or maybe even a flower and it's small enough to fit there and you have enough detail to know what you're looking at, then it'll be just fine. But you can also customize the text instead, or you can even do the tiles. Information stream is going to give you information on stocks, sports, and news, and it's going to kind of scroll across the edge screen. It's kind of cool. The night clock is going to be exactly what it says. It's going to be an alarm clock that you can set on the side of your bed that will show the time while it's on the lock screen. And moving on, going back to the main screen, you also have the personal message option, and here you can actually write whatever it is that you want to write. You can see the standard one is the Galaxy Note Edge, which you can kind of see there on the right. I know you saw it in previous clips, and I'm going to go ahead and change it to OT for Tech, and you can see whenever the edge screen is not being activated or is not doing anything, it will display your personal message right there. It's pretty cool. I just don't find it functional or purposeful, unless of course you put call if found and then list a contact number there in case you lose your phone and an honest person finds it. They have someone to call to give your phone back to. Then it would actually be a little bit more useful than just putting a message or whatever it is on your phone for customization purposes. The rotate 180 degrees option will allow you to turn your phone upside down, and the screen itself will actually rotate as well as the edge screen. So whenever you turn the screen on, the very first thing you're going to see is whatever personal message you typed in, and it's going to be kind of blinking or fading in and out. And then once you tap the display, it pretty much goes away. It's nice that you can access the edge screen while the phone is locked. You don't have to unlock it to access any of the options. And if you go to the application selection where you have the list of your favorite apps and swipe down, it's going to bring up another useful menu, and you actually have access to a flashlight, a countdown timer, a stopwatch, and even a ruler. I'm not sure what you would use the ruler for because it only goes up to 10 centimeters. However, if you needed to measure something that was very small, I guess you could use your phone to do that. Bring on the penis jokes on that one. So moving on, we can see that you can actually add a custom launcher still and still have access to the edge screen, and that's pretty cool. You can see here I'm running the Google Now launcher and the edge screen still works perfectly with no issues at all. The only small problem I've noticed is the fact that the background on the edge screen is no longer transparent, so you're not going to be able to see the wallpaper or whatever launcher that you're using. The camera app takes full advantage of the curved display by putting your shutter button and all your other options within the edge screen window, and the touch to focus and autofocusing capability of the Note Edge is noticeably faster than the Note 4. And before you guys say anything, I understand it is the same camera and it does feature basically the same software. However, I put them side by side and it was noticeably faster. Now, of course, when viewing videos in the YouTube app, they do not take advantage of the Note Edge's curved display just yet, but it does not interfere with your video viewing experience either. The S Pen functionality is exactly the same as the Note 4. When you pull the S Pen out of the bottom, it's going to fire up the Air Command window, which gives you options for the action memo, the Smart Select, the image clip, and of course the screen write options. So if you're coming from a Note in general, you'll feel right at home with the Note Edge. All the improvements and advancements Samsung implemented into the Note 4's S Pen will be carried over to the Note Edge, so you're going to get the same exact experience with that. And this also includes the multitasking features found in the Note 4, such as the dual window mode and the ability to turn multiple applications into small windows or even icons on whatever screen that you're on. Now, as I said in the very beginning of the video when we're taking a look around the phone, it does have the heart rate monitor, so essentially it's going to have S Health. You will have to download it if you have the international unlocked version, so just go into the Samsung store and download it, and then you'll have access to the O2 sat reader, the heart rate monitor, and all the other health things that Samsung has implemented into the Note 4. The Note Edge feels very awkward to hold, and what I mean by that is, first of all, in terms of build quality, it is excellent. This is a very premium built device, and it lets you know that when you're holding it, more so even than the Note 4, and Samsung took a major step forward by adding a little bit of metal to their Note series, and the Note Edge steps that up even. However, due to the awkward grip that you have to hold it to accommodate the curved display and the extra width, it kind of takes away from the premium build quality, and this is more dedicated to people that are right-handed due to the position of the curved display or the edge screen, whatever you want to call it. I need a little bit more time with this device because right now my thoughts are veering more towards the negative side of this phone due to the fact that I feel like it's more of a gimmick than being purposeful. However, stay tuned for my full review and give me a little bit more time and I'll see what I can come up with. Well guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. It really helps out the channel, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my new content. And while you're at it, why don't you check out some of my older videos? You might like what you see. Follow me on all my social media networks to have a more one-on-one based chat with me, and don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought. Of course, as always guys, thank you for watching and all your support, and I'll see you in the next one.